The Las Vegas Sportsline. Presented by the Westgate Las Vegas, home of the world's largest race and sports book and the Super Contest.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
Presented by WagerTalk.com.
All right, here we go. It's the Tuesday edition of the Las Vegas Sportsline. I'm Dave Koch, and Marco D'Angelo is here. Clay Baker's here. Jeff Sherman from the Westgate Las Vegas, home of the Superbook, will join us in a little bit. We've got Golden Knights, Warriors to talk about. We've got a no-hitter in progress that we can tell you about going to the bottom of the sixth at Petco. The Padres lead the Rockies 2-0. Jordan Lyles with the no-hitter through 6 innings. Only 62 pitches, but it's his first start of the season, Marco. He's been pitching out of the bullpen, so we don't know how long he can go. This could be one of those situations where a guy with a no-hitter does get removed.
Yeah, that's got to be tough for him. But as you said, he's been very efficient through the first 6 innings.
Yes, he has.
62 pitches, not a lot. We'll see what happens. If he gets a quick 7th inning, then you got to think about it. You go to the 8th inning, and you're gonna. If the manager asks you how do you feel, you know what his answer is going to be.
He ain't great.
Yeah, I can go all day.
Yes,
I got 40 more pitches in me. We'll see what happens, and we'll know here shortly because we'll be on the air for an hour, so we'll be watching this one.
Well, he could certainly go another 3 or 4 innings, no problem, if he had Robinson's Cano's certified doctor in the Dominican Republic. Robinson Cano suspended 80 games for cheating. This is not a politically correct show, so we'll just drop for a positive drug test.
Yeah.
He cheated, and you know about this particular drug because you have experience in the horse racing industry, so explain.
Yeah, Lasix is a diuretic that's used for horses that are bleeding into their lungs. It's a diuretic. It flushes the fluid out of the system. It'll help a horse breathe, clear the lungs so that he can carry his oxygen and finish a race. However, it was discovered that it was also very helpful in masking other drugs when you use this. In horse racing, Lasix is legal. It's administered by the track veterinarian a couple hours before a race. But what it does is mask other things. So when they take a post-race test for blood, it creates a cloudy sample, and they can't see what's actually in there. And a lot of drugs go through that would be caught without. And in horse racing, some trainers got their horses put on Lasix on purpose just so they could mask other things. And that's clearly what Cano's doing with this, is he was using the steroids to mask the other performance-enhancing steroids that he was using.
Yes, I don't think there's any question about that. And if somebody wants to say, well, you're convicting him without yeah, too bad. Okay, that's the way it goes. This isn't a court of law. This is a court of public opinion. And our public opinion is he cheated and he got caught.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't an accident. He cheated.
How about the timing, though? Does it seem strange to you that the day after he goes on the DL that they come out with this positive?
I don't know. I mean, he did get hit on the hand, and I mean, there's no question about that. So I think it's just weird timing, that's all. But we'll see what impact it has on the Mariners. It's obviously a big blow for that baseball team. Last night, the Golden Knights, wow, what a terrific performance. Talk about a 180 from Game 1 where they just came out and weren't good at all in the first period of that game, got outplayed for the most part for the entire game, and lost decisively to Winnipeg, despite the fact that, 4-2 final is not the most lopsided score in the world, but there wasn't any question about the better team.
They were never in it.
Last night, the first period was pretty even until late, and then the Golden Knights put 2 on the board, and you could tell this is looking like a good night for the Golden Knights. They took one bad penalty at the end of the second period, kind of led to Winnipeg getting a good start to the third period, and they make it 2-1. It's like, okay, we're going to start sweating now. And then the Golden Knights just put them away. Dagger goal by Marchessault, who had a terrific night with 2 goals, and game time, baby. That's it. 1 game apiece now, which means the Golden Knights have taken the home ice advantage away from the Jets.
It's a 5-game series, and 3 of them will be in Vegas, so that's what we're looking for. All we needed to do was split there. And, Dave, as we said on the show yesterday, I just thought the Knights, they were just a step slow on that Game 1. It looked like, we always want to say that, the rust versus rest. I think it did affect them in the first game, and Winnipeg had that surge from the Game 7, but then we saw the letdown from them. And I saw 2 things from the Knights last night. Yes, they came back and won the game, so they showed us that bounce back. They had never been in that position before down in a series. But when they cut it to 2-1, as you said, oh boy, here we go, here's the sweat. This team answered with that decisive goal. When they put that puck in the net, that game was done, and this team made a statement.
The air went out of that crowd, too.
Absolutely. And this team, if you look, every aspect of the game last night, we talked about their passing in game one, how bad it was, passes, they were jumping the passes and getting breakaways. You didn't see any of that last night. They played better defense in front of Fleury last night, which they didn't in game one, and Fleury was his usual good self, but they were on the attack that game instead of playing, I just thought they didn't take it to them in the first game. Winnipeg was the more aggressive team last night. The Knights were.
Best player on the ice didn't show up on the score sheet to any extent, but Schmidt was absolutely great last night at both ends of the ice for the Golden Knights. One game apiece. We'll talk with Jeff Sherman about what the new prices are for Game 3 and for the series. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors, it's spring, and the Warriors are now playing like the Warriors, and they go into Houston, and they just spanked the Rockets last night. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of the game because I was watching baseball and hockey, but I'm not surprised at all.
No, and
it's the Warriors.
If you're the Rockets right now, you went all year long. You went pedal to the metal. We talked about it. They wanted that number one seed. It was a big thing for them. They wanted to be able to have home court for the finals. Well, they got it. Well, guess what? One game in, it's gone. And now you got to sit there at the Warrior. If you're Houston, what do? Your confidence level's got to be bad. They came out, they won the first quarter, they went in at the half with 1 point, and then Golden State, took it over in the second half. They got to be in the minds of the Rockets right now.
I would think so.
This, if they don't find a way to win Game 2, this could be a 4-game sweep.
It definitely could. Time for our Tuesday 4 and 4.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Put them fours up. Put the fours up, I said. Do it right now.
Tonight's action is just around the bend, and the guys want to get your night off to a great start.
4.
It's the Las Vegas Sportsline's 4 at 4.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Unbelievable.
Dire Straits, that's the only way to explain where the Tampa Bay Lightning are right now. They have lost their 2 home games. They head to Washington in a desperate situation tonight. Got to think the Lightning come out and have, whatever is in the tank is going to show early in this game. If you're looking to bet it, I mean, this is just my quick take. I'd take Tampa in the first period. If you don't win that, they're probably not going to win the game, and this series could be over.
I agree with you with Tampa, Dire Straits. They got to come out in that first period. But I'm going to read you a quote from Ovechkin. And think about this for a second. He says, I can't wait to go home and play the game. The fans are going to be all over the place, and we have waited for this moment for a long time. It's going to be pretty cool and pretty special. Remember, they have not been home since they beat the Penguins, and then they opened this series up 2 games on the road. That place is going to be electric tonight for Washington because this is uncharted water for the Capitals. That's the only thing that scares me. The other thing that scares me is Tampa just does not look good at all in this series. I would like to bet Tampa tonight, Dave, but I'll admit it. Unfortunately, I'm sitting with a series ticket on Tampa that, I would like to just rip up right now. But
you might have that chance shortly.
Yeah, so there's no need for me to bet this game tonight. I have to root for Tampa, but that place is going to be electric tonight with Washington. If they don't come out and score first, Tampa in this game, it's going to be 3-0, and it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah, and I also don't like going into winning streaks, and the Caps are on a pretty good one right now. So I didn't bet it. I'm going to leave it alone. If I had to bet it, I'd take Tampa first period, but I am not going to. Cubs and Braves, Yu Darvish swings back into action after he stint in the DL, which was not injury-related. He had a flu bug of some kind. He is not having a good season. There's no question about that. Darvish is still winless. The mechanics seem to be fine. I don't know what the problem is. They think he may be going a little too fast out there, and they tried to slow him down, I guess, in some side sessions. We'll see how it works out. Mike Foltynewicz pitches for Atlanta. He's done some good work this year, but one thing about Foltynewicz, he's basically just a 6-inning guy. And if this is close in the late innings, the Cubs have a bullpen advantage over Atlanta. I think that makes, in my opinion, the Cubs the side to look at here. And that actually used that as my free play today. I took the Cubbies.
I don't disagree with you too often, Dave. You've been red hot, but I'll tell you, this Braves team, they are playing some good baseball right now. They've been flying under the radar all season, 6-1 in their last 7 games. And right now with Darvish, I just don't trust him. He got booed in his last start at Wrigley, And
Well, they backed him up a day, so he's on the road.
Well,
now.
no, he had the flu, Dave.
No, his turn would have been yesterday.
Yeah.
And they just, Madden was...
Man said, we wanted to give him the
yeah.
extra day. Yeah, of course you did. You wanted to get him away from Wrigley. So if your manager's worried about his psyche, I sure as heck ain't put my money on a guy that I got to worry about his psyche. He's got to show me that he can do it. I'll take the hot team. I'll go with Atlanta.
Phillies and Orioles matching up tonight. Nick Pivetta will take them out for Philadelphia. Andrew Kastner on the mound for the Orioles. The Orioles are playing better baseball lately. We'll see what they do against Pivetta, who's coming off an outstanding performance last time out. Pivetta has not been very good on the road so far this season, but he is a pitcher that is starting to fulfill some of the promise the Phillies think he has, and he really was brilliant in his last performance. Andrew Kastner is basically getting lit up. This could be... Look, the Orioles are going to win this. It's going to be a shootout in all likelihood. I think if it's a low-scoring game, that favors the Phillies. The Orioles are banging the baseball right now, no question about that. Coming off a 17-1 shellacking against the Tampa Bay Rays on Saturday. A rough weekend for Tampa Bay. They just blew out the Rays on Sunday. That was against the lefty. This is a very righty-dominant lineup, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with a hard-throwing righty tonight as the Phillies come to town as a small favorite.
Yeah, both teams, as you said, Dave, are playing good baseball right now. They both won 5 of their last 6. And as you said, with Baltimore, they're hitting the lights out of the baseball. They've scored 5 runs or more in 6 of their last 7 games. So, yes, a shootout is the way you got to look for them. But a couple stats that's not good for the Phillies here. They're 22-49 in road games against right-handers the last 2 seasons. And Philadelphia, when they're playing on the road in a competitively priced game, that's the minus 125 to plus 125 range. They're just 11-25 on the last 2 seasons. I'm going to go with the home team that's on a streak right now. I'm going to take Baltimore in this one, and I agree with you. It should be a shootout.
Yankees and Nationals matching up Tanaka and Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez has had some issues with some of the Yankee hitters he'll be seeing. He is pitching good ball for the Nationals this season. Nationals coming home off a long road trip, facing a very dangerous Yankees team. This one ended up as a conflict for me. My power ratings say the Nationals on the right side, small favorite like 105, and they're getting a little bit of a price. But I don't like the situation for them, so I ended up passing this baseball game.
Yeah, you want to talk about hot teams, Dave? Yankees, 19-3 the last 22. Washington, 13-2 the last 15. Are we possibly looking at a preview to the World Series?
It's a possibility.
You know, Washington, they tease us every year. But you look at this one, and you talked about Gio Gonzalez. How about his 4 home starts this year, Dave? 1.61 ERA and a whip of 1.29 in 8 starts this year. For his career, though, against the Yankees, Gonzalez has not pitched well, or against the Yankees, I should say. He's got an ERA of 6.65 and a whip of 1.54. The only thing is, most of that was when he was with Oakland, and they had some pretty crappy teams there in Oakland when he was out there. I'm going to go Gonzalez, but I don't want to go the full game here. I'm going to take him first 5 against Tanaka. I think he's going to outpitch Tanaka. I'm not real thrilled on the back end with Washington. The Yankees, I think, have a much better bullpen, so I'll go first 5.
Should mention, by the way, Jordan Lyles, it's not just a no-hitter. It's a perfect game going to the 7th inning. He is facing David Dahl right now. We'll keep you posted as to what's going on in San Diego. The last perfect game in baseball, I believe, Felix Hernandez back in 2012. It has been a while since there's been a perfecto on the diamond, so we'll keep you posted on that one. Jeff Sherman joining us right now on the Flemingstown Square Magnum guest line. Don't forget, Flemingstown Square, one of the great spots in Las Vegas to get by prime steaks. They've put some new items on the menu which are absolutely sensational. They got a tomahawk ribeye. If you've got a big appetite, this baby is awesome. I mean, it's like 30-something ounces, and it's a huge steak. And I'm telling you, it is, it's prime. Okay, so this is tender through and through, tasty, juicy. I mean, it's fantastic. For someone like me, it's 2 meals. It really is. You can have it as 1. You can have it as 3 if you want. They have to-go boxes, But check it out. I mean, it's just one of the great items on the menu now at Flemingstown Square. 702-407-0019, the phone number to make reservations. And we bring in Jeff Sherman right now. Jeff, it's been quite a week for the gambling industry, I would say, huh?
Yeah, slightly. A lot going on.
It really is. One thing I wanted to mention, I know I've seen Jay Cornegay tweet this. There's not anything official yet. It's something that he says you're working on, which is the possibility, at least, that the Super Contest might end up available on the mobile app this year. Now, that's not